Okay, so here's our plan. In the coming weeks, the House will vote on a bill to lift the debt ceiling into the next year. Save taxpayers trillions of dollars, make us less dependent upon China, curb our high inflation, all without touching Social Security and Medicare. Our proposal will also restore work requirements that ensure able-bodied adults without dependents earn a paycheck and learn new skills. Don't believe anyone who says our plans hurt American social safety net. We're a very generous nation.
Do you actually have your House members, your party, on board with what you're proposing today? Because there are a number of Republicans that don't want to raise the debt ceiling under any circumstance, right? And you have a pretty thin margin. So
5 seats.
5 seats.
I don't know if you watched my speaker race. It was kind of close.
It was close,
Yeah.
and that's what I'm asking. Do you have the support of your party for what you're actually proposing?
You know what? I think I have support of America because I'll get the party behind it. But more importantly, what is wrong with sitting down on both sides and finding a responsible, reasonable way? I mean, who in America wants to continue down this path where we spend more than we bring in, that we're leveraging our children's future, that we're creating inflation, that the disruption that's happening today, our own allies are going to China, that there's an attack on the dollar. And you know what? What Brazil and these other countries do won't knock the dollar off the world currency. It's what we do. If we continue to have a debt at 120%, we will crumble. So what I'm standing up for is the future of this country. And this is the time, this is the place, and this is the moment. And everybody can have a say in it. But I think the common sense, sensible, rational thing to do is exactly what Republicans are going to do. And you know what? We welcome Democrats to join with us.
So even if you cobble together the votes in the House, then it goes to the Senate.
Then it's
and then
their
what?
responsibility.
But that's not, what's the realistic chance of your proposal passing the Senate?
I think the same realistic plan when we told the District of Columbia that they can't decriminalize carjacking and murder, and the president said he would veto it and ended up signing it. It's the same ability as when we said that the pandemic is over and the president said he'd veto it and then he signed it last week. So if I try everything just based upon what's the opportunity, I shouldn't have to worry about that. I should stand up for the American public, work within Congress, and send it to the Senate. Now, it's not my fault if they don't do their job. I haven't seen them do much this year. I'd like them to. And think about it. A debt ceiling is like giving your child a credit card, and they charge the limit all the way up. Would you just raise the limit? No. You would sit down.
Well, if it meant playing with America's standing at full faith and credit of U.S. government debt,
but
I feel like you can deal with the spending in other ways, which is totally legitimate.
So if you just raise the debt ceiling, do you think $31 trillion of debt? The CBO has come out in the next 10 years. Do you know we'll pay 10.5?
You did it 3 times in the Trump administration.
As we did economic changes. We never raised the debt ceiling by itself.
But the tax cuts, that was like $2 trillion.
Now, if you had teenagers and they spent past the limit on a credit card, yes, you pay for it. But, now this is important, you don't allow their bad spending habits to continue. You change their behavior so it never happens again. You teach them to be sensible, responsible, and accountable adults. Well, I think I speak for most Americans when I say it's time for Washington to change its behavior and act like adults. 90 days ago, the American people chose to give Republicans power in the House of Representatives, because we are committed to finding solutions that curb inflation. At its source, wasteful Washington spending. We are already changing the behavior of this government. The runaway spending of the last few years, it's over.